Can he find it? Can he do it?
I've done it. We're live. Happy Friday,
Hey!
everyone. I was
Yes.
going to play the video, but we didn't play the video. So we're straight into it right away.
All
So
right.
there we go. So today, oh,
What happened?
okay. I found out that Instagram automatically goes live. There we
Oh,
go.
really?
That's the echo. All
Instagram.
right.
Hey, we're big.
Instagram, brand new today. As of today, you can stream to Instagram. So I thought I would try it out. Anyway, today our topic is add marketing to your total traffic and conversion mix to boost sales. I actually even have a banner for that. Where's that? Where's my mouse?
Where's the banner?
Where's the banner? There's the banner. Okay.
Yay.
Yeah. So I want to put this into the context of what we normally do for total traffic and conversion, because we do a bunch of things. Our main thing is to boost the online presence using a variety of things, including high-performing SEO, Google-friendly websites, blog posts, Instagram posts, all that kind of thing. And what's your tagline, Roy? So you become the only choice in your niche. And
that's close enough. Sure.
yeah, become the only choice, right? And but that's generally a long-term game. And our biased opinion is that you probably need to do that before you put any money or energy into advertising, because you need to be able to, you need to be ready to receive visitors and be prepared to actually convert them and sell them something, right? So if you don't have anything that anybody's going to buy, then don't put any money into advertising. That's the bottom line.
Seems reasonable, yeah.
Sounds reasonable. So our long-term thing is one way of doing it, but it is actually possible. You can get results in a hurry by doing advertising and paid advertising. And Joe, our guest today, Joe Mendez, is going to talk about his thing with PerkPay, where you don't pay unless you get results, which is always a good thing.
Yes.
So I'm gonna have some fun with this little discussion here. So
right.
I've come up with this a fictional product.
Perfect.
that my former partner would have bought. I'm pretty sure, right?
Okay. All right.
Yeah. And here's the little tagline: saves you from having to smother your partner with a pillow.
Perfect.
Okay. So our little exercise today is I know I've done some advertising using Facebook, and a little bit with Google AdWords, and Roy has done stuff with Google AdWords, and probably other things. And I'm pretty sure Betty has written a lot of content that has been used in advertising campaigns. So maybe Roy, do you want to say what you've done? How would you approach marketing this with a bit of a budget to advertise?
Well, which do you want me to say first?
Okay, well, whichever comes to mind.
Okay, well, I like your idea of finding out what works organically and then advertising that. So you've got a much better chance of doing well quickly with the paid advertising. So it saves a lot of money and potentially gets you a better return on investment. Now, the second part, I guess, is what do I want to do with stopping snoring so I don't have to kill my partner with a pillow? Is that the second part of the question?
Yeah, no, okay. So let's say I know you have some experience with Google advertising,
Yeah.
and YouTube advertising.
And
So
snoring.
but not, snoring or whatever. What does it look like for you to pay for ads with Google? Like, I guess that's my question.
What does it look like? Well, the ones that seem to pay off the best are ones that relate to the best organic results, but they boost the return on a keyword, for example, tremendously. because if you hit it with the ad and you hit it with all the normal organic things that we do, it's just a tremendous return on that particular keyword. Now, my personal experience is that for people who want to make certain keywords pay off quickly or pay off in a much bigger way than they can organically, that's when they go to the paid advertising. And I've had nothing but excellent success with that with Google. Of course, I know Google pretty well, so it's easier for me. But I absolutely love paid advertising. But if I were going to put out money and I ended up not having to pay for it, unless it really worked, I'd certainly have to give that a consideration.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be the number one consideration.
For sure. Like, I'm gonna pass on a story that Dan Kennedy said. It says just because a company's large and has a huge advertising budget doesn't mean they have any smarts about it at all. And he is an example of a nonprofit that probably put $2 million into a advertising campaign to get people to phone a number and talk to people and make pledges and stuff like that. They overlooked completely telling the people at the phone end what was going on, right? So all of a sudden their phones are blowing up and people are saying, well, I'm interested in that. What? What's that about? So,
that's what the funnel side of things.
Yeah, the funnel side of things. That's what I mean about you have to be ready to receive visitors.
Oh,
so Betty, do you have any comments on this before we throw Joe under the bus?
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely agree that you have to know what your result is before you start the campaign, and you need to have something for people to be attracted to before you start building a funnel. I mean, that just makes sense. Say you build the product, and a lot of people think, well, you build it and they will come. They may or may not. How are you going to induce them to come is the question, and advertising is one part of it. As a copywriter for this product that's being proposed, I would probably write articles that use the keyword snoring, and how can I avoid domestic violence and based on snoring, and what are people going to type in when their partner is driving them crazy over snoring? So I would write something like that, get people involved with it, and then send them to the sales page. The sales page doesn't exist yet, then clearly we're not going to do it. But having somebody who can answer the phone, take the orders or whatever it is before you start, you got to do that.
Yeah. And actually, I think in this line here, if you were doing this through Facebook, you would probably have the landing page and the sales page, and then you would target, and you could do that through Google too, anybody who has been looking for snoring products. Like I think this is probably a fairly easy sell. If we wanted to sell something this afternoon.
It'd be interesting to type in snore. My partner is driving me crazy with snoring, and see how many, or just snoring partner, shut him up, something like that.
Shut him up.
Finding the right.
You can have a lot of fun with the ads too. But anyway, I have dabbled a little bit with this, and I've had some success. I've had things where you've created a page, and you've started an ad through as a Facebook group. And for one, I've used them to, $30 can get you a lot of likes on a brand new Facebook page, and then from there you can go on and get traffic, and mostly in the context of selling tickets to concerts or stage productions. But I put some money in there where there's no concrete results at all. So that's where Joe's solution comes in here, because I think you can explain. I think you've got probably some horror stories to tell about traditional advertising, and then you have a solution that can help with that. So, why don't you explain what you've got here?
So before I get started, just to kind of give you a background, I used to own 2 other advertising agencies in the past. And with those advertising agencies, I've experienced everything as a business owner dealing with traditional marketing, the pay-per-click campaigns, the search engine optimization, email marketing, social media marketing. I mean, all of it, including doing the brochures. And I've pretty much done everything that is out there. And I've experienced it not only as a business owner, like when I used to own an auto mechanic shop, and with the franchise that I had purchased, they locked me into their marketing program, and I was paying a minimum $1,500 a week in advertising, and I was lucky if I generated $400 in sales. So it was not working for me. I mean, my return was 24%, 24 to 27% on average every single week. And I'd always be contacting corporate because they had their marketing gurus that'd be like, hey, Joe, I've been doing this for over 30 years. And I said, I understand that, but you have to understand this is not working. And I had, some other stuff that was going on with my business, with government getting involved, and it affected me financially. So for me to generate sales and, pay for advertising, I needed it to work. I mean, I was bleeding left and right, week after week, because when I opened up my doors, I was over 900,000 in the hole, just to get started. So it was a tough start for me. So with it, when I designed, my marketing platform, I actually designed it back in 2007. I obtained a copyright in 2008, to protect everything that I had. And for the last 16 plus years, I've been working on this platform to get it off the ground. And I have actually come up with a solution that eliminates the risk in advertising. See, another business that I had, I used to have a black car limo service, and I did all the stuff with the pay-per-click campaigns. I know how pay-per-click campaigns work. And I had it set up not only to receive website traffic, but also those phone calls. Unfortunately, with Google, it did not work for my particular business, because I would enter all the keywords that were, for black car service, or, limo service, or SUV, black car ride, those type of things, because that's what I did. I did a lot of executive transportation. I drove a lot of high profile clients. Well, the artificial intelligence for Google automatically added keywords that were part of my industry, but not part of my business. So what was happening is I was receiving phone calls from people saying, hey, I need a taxi. Like, I'm not a taxi service, right? And every one of those phone calls, I was not only paying for the call, but paying per minute that I was on the call with those clients. And then I would receive other phone calls. Hey, I need a ride from Denver to El Paso. And I'd be talking to them, and then I'd give them a quote, and they'd be like, hey, why is it so much? And I said, well, you did request a black car service, and that was not unusual for me. I mean, I've done trips from Denver all the way to Virginia in a black car service. So it was not unusual. And come to find out, the people, they were wanting bus transportation. So Google added all these keywords that were part of my industry, but not part of my business. And, with the $1,000 that I would put in, I would say on average, 3% of it was maybe real business, or, the website traffic, or real phone calls that pertained to my business. The rest of it didn't work. I have had success, doing all the stuff, going organic, where you go in and you do the search engine optimization for a page, and you pull up on all the, major search engines and stuff. But even then, it's difficult to get organic traffic unless your website has been up for a long time, because Google takes a lot of things in, they factor in a lot of things, how long, you've had your domain, and then also the keywords, and then also how many other businesses that are in your exact industry. And ultimately, what I found when you're dealing with everything from the pay-per-click campaigns, the search engine optimization, social media marketing, what you're getting is, like, the website traffic, the foot traffic, the phone calls, email, whatever it is, however, the clients contact you. But as a business owner, the most important thing is it going to generate a sale? Is it going to put money in my pocket so that I can keep my business going or grow my business? And when I created everything, I designed the program that caters not only to the business owner, but also caters to the clients. From my experience in advertising, and I've been involved in advertising for about 25, 30 years. And, the most powerful form of advertising, bar none, is word of mouth. It is the most powerful. It is the most trusted form of advertising. I mean, if you think right now of your favorite restaurant and you say, hey, Joe, you ought to go try the food at ABC restaurant. And I go and I say, hey, I'm here because so-and-so told me I needed to try your food. And I order the food, pay them like I normally would, and then I leave. Well, if you were to refer me right now to any restaurant in your area and I go and I tell them that you sent me there, how much would they pay you for that referral? None. That is the whole basis of my platform. It is designed in that way where all my advertisers get paid directly from my members, and they pay the advertising fee. My company, we pay our members for making purchases from our advertisers. So, if I go to, on the business side of it, because that's, what we're really talking about is how to grow your business. I set everything up that, for you to get started, there is no investment. There is no upfront cost. There is zero risk. As a matter of fact, you can go on to nolossmarketing.com. So there's two websites. There's nolossmarketing.com, which is for the business owners. That's where the business owners go and create their account, create their listing, manage everything. They get real-time analytics because, if I step back a little bit, with pay-per-click campaigns, trying to gather the data for your analytics, it takes time. You can't get it instantly. Same thing with the social media marketing, email marketing. Yeah, you can see how many people opened up your emails and stuff, but for you to see, hey, what is my conversion rate? It takes time to gather that data. Well, with my platform, from the minute that one of my members makes a purchase with any of my advertisers, paying them for the purchase, and all the business owner has to do is validate that transaction. And when they validate that transaction, the system automatically calculates the advertising fee associated with that individual transaction and deducts it from the account balance. And it gives you what your gross sales were, how much you paid in advertising, and it gives you real-time return of investment data. So from your very first transaction, you're going to have all that data right in front of you, and you're going to know. Well, when I designed it, to eliminate the risk, I set it up to where it is a guaranteed sale. So my advertisers pay $0 in advertising fees until after they've been paid by my members, by my clients. So once, so let's go back to that restaurant. And as an example, one of the members, they go on perkpay.cash. That's the website where all the members search for businesses and products and services. They find a service, and let's say that they're looking for a restaurant that has, hamburgers. They go to that restaurant, that they found on the platform, on, my platform, and they make the purchase like they normally do, paying them. And after they've paid, for the purchase, they're going to get a receipt. If the advertiser requires for them to upload a receipt, well, they start the whole process. They upload the receipt. They say, hey, I spent this much with this advertiser. And the system, it pulls up a sale code. And that sale code is what they give to the advertiser, or, to the business owner, or to one of their staff members. The staff member, they log in on their site, and where the staff member logs in is on nolossmarketing.com. And, there's a staff login. So when they log in, they enter the code, it pulls up all the details, including a copy of that receipt. And the only thing they do is validate that transaction and they're done. And it literally takes 2-3 seconds to complete this whole process. So the system, handles everything. Now from every transaction, like I said, my members get paid. So from every transaction that's validated, 5 members get paid. So from my business, 50% of my advertising revenue is what goes back to my members. So it is a huge benefit for them. And on PerkPay.cash, I have an overview video that explains everything on the member side where, it's a cashback program. So they get money back, like a rebate or, you want to call it a discount or whatever, from 0.5% to 5% from the purchases that they make from my advertisers. But then there's another side of it where I actually give ownership to my members when they become marketing consultants of PerkPay Inc. So as a marketing consultant, what they do is they invite other people to become members. And when those members make a purchase from any of our advertisers, those members get paid, the cashback rewards, but the marketing consultant also makes some commission off of it. And if those members become marketing consultants and they invite other people, so it does utilize network marketing. I mean, there's power in network marketing. And when they invite other people, now you have 3 people that get paid when that third person, makes a purchase, right? And it just goes down the line. And the way I call it, it's like, I call it the tree of opportunity. So when you have a member that signs up, they start their own tree, they're the tree trunk. And when they invite members, to join, those are like the first set of branches on the tree. And when those people invite other people, that's the second set of branches, and then you have the third set of branches. But then the final set is the leaves on the tree. And what I've done is, on the tree, when you get to the leaves, that's where you're going to have the most people in your network. Now, most network marketing that I've had experience with, and I've done a lot of them over the years, as you build, they call it downline. I call it upline because you're building, part of your tree. Well, as when you start building your downline, you notice that the commissions start to decrease more and more and more and more. I've done the complete opposite. So, if you think of a regular tree, you have the tree trunk, that's where you have the roots of your tree, and the branches, that's part of the tree, but it's not going to generate you, the most revenue. Where you're going to get the most revenue is on your leaves. That's the fruit of your labor. So, when I designed it, I actually have a calculator on another website. So I don't know if you go to it, it's on jointhemarketingrevolution.com.
Yeah. I was wondering if you want to show your introductory video.
Sure, I can definitely do that.
Like I can do that here. I've got it teed up.
So it's right on the homepage of No Loss Marketing. So there's
I was going to show the one you sent me on Vimeo.
Yeah, it's the same one.
Okay, yeah. Let's see here.
Do you have a business where you sell products and or services? If so, how would you like to have guaranteed sales where you would not pay a cent in advertising fees if you don't sell a product or service? In addition to the guaranteed sale, do you believe that it would be beneficial for your business as you could obtain a guaranteed starting return of investment on your marketing dollars of 4,900% or more? What if you had the opportunity to generate up to $500 in gross sales before having to pay any out-of-pocket advertising fees and without entering any credit card information? Would you advertise your business with us? In other words, you can create your account for free, and once your listing is live, you have the opportunity to generate a profit of up to $500 without any contract, obligation, or risk. You will never receive a bill for the sales you generate, and if you decide not to continue, you simply allow your account balance to hit zero and your listing will automatically disappear from our platform. If you decide to continue, all you have to do is add funds to your account and maintain a positive account balance to keep your listing live for our members. It's that simple. We would like to introduce you to PerkPay.cash and NoLossMarketing.com. We have created the perfect balance in marketing that benefits our advertisers and our members who make purchases from our advertisers. Our members search for products and services on PerkPay.cash, and they make all purchases directly with our advertisers. To clarify, our advertisers get paid for all purchases from our members just as if they had any other client pay them for their products or services. The only thing our advertisers have to do is validate all purchases made by our members, which is like a proof of purchase, and once it's validated, the advertising fee associated with that transaction is automatically deducted from their account balance. Did we mention that by you advertising your business with us, you are benefiting your own clients? It's as if you're giving back to your community. This is because 50% of PerkPay's advertising revenue is used to pay our members for making purchases from our advertisers. In summary, you validate the transaction, you pay the advertising fee associated from each individual transaction, and we pay our members for making the purchase. It's a system where everybody wins. It doesn't matter how big or small your business is, your industry, if it's an established business or a startup. Create your account on NoLossMarketing.com and start the process to have your business listed on PerkPay.cash. We look forward to seeing you be part of a movement that is going to revolutionize the entire advertising industry. Join the marketing revolution by listing your business today. Thank you for watching this video.
Okay, then.
So, one of the things that, you saw in the video is that any advertiser can create their listing. They don't put in any credit card information. All they do is create their account, and then they start the process of creating the listing. Once they create the listing, they can preview it, and then they submit it for us to approve that listing, because, we're not going to allow just any advertiser, especially if it's something that's going to be offensive or, not part of our culture, to be on the platform. So with that, once it's approved, all my advertisers get started with some free advertising dollars, which is $10. And the way it is, they can start off with the minimum advertising fee, which is 2%. So from every $50 that they sell, they pay $1 in advertising, which is unheard of in the advertising industry, because, they say that a good return of investment for your marketing dollars is a 5-to-1 ratio. So for every $5 that a business sells, they pay $1 in advertising. A 10-to-1 is exceptional, but it is very difficult to obtain with today's marketing, that currently exists. Well, my platform starts with a 50-to-1, which is unheard of in the advertising industry, and that is guaranteed. So for the businesses, if they just want to try everything out, they create their listing. Once they're approved, they have those $10, and for them, that's $500 in sales for them before they even pay a cent in advertising. And, so, when the members go in, they pay them, and when that transaction is validated, it deducts it. Well, for every $10, I mean, you're looking at what, 20 cents? So it is a very small amount. And my whole philosophy is, I could charge a whole lot for advertising, but I'd rather give opportunity to businesses, because I know firsthand what it's like, to try and grow your business and have limited budget, to have limited resources, especially when you're a startup. Like with my auto mechanic shop, it was a 4,900 square foot shop. So it was a big shop. But because of everything that I went through, because, and I'll tell you the story, I met with the building department, the city manager, and the planning and zoning department. I said, hey, I want to open up a shop. This is what I want to do. Yep, you're good. I told them the building. Well, a month into construction, they came out with all the new building codes and they hit me with everything. I had $150,000 budgeted for my tenant finish. By the time the city was done with me, I was over $600,000 in the hole just to get my certificate of occupancy. And that took almost a year. And then from there, I had to get, the inventory, the equipment and operating capital just to run my business. So when I opened up my doors, I was way in the hole. So for me, advertising was extremely important, and I was depending on everything that that corporate was doing to help me grow my business. And yeah, I had some really good weeks, but I had some really terrible weeks. But as far as the marketing was, it was terrible. It was so frustrating for me. And so for me, I understand what it's like not to have the resources. I also know what it's like to have enough money to go ahead and put, $10,000 or $20,000 into advertising, and do all the stuff with the pay-per-click campaign. So this is an opportunity for everybody. It doesn't matter where they're at, and it's a risk-free trial. And what happens is once they create their listing and they start validating the transactions, if they choose not to continue, they say, hey, Joe, this doesn't work for me. All they do is allow their account balance to hit zero and they automatically disappear from the platform. They go about their way, no harm, no foul, right? So that part of the risk has been eliminated.
Yeah.
And, I just make it to where my goal is to allow all my advertisers to have success, because when they succeed and they're profiting, and mind you, if you think of every advertising platform that is out there, everybody's all about, leads and getting website traffic, getting the phone calls, getting the foot traffic. But what matters most is, am I putting that money in my pocket, right? And, that's where, I've, resolved the issue. Now there are companies that do have guaranteed sales, and I'll give you an example with my shop. Let's use the pillow, the snoring thing, right? I did advertising for my shop and also for the limo business with Groupon. And with Groupon, it is a guaranteed sale. However, here was the first problem. Groupon collected all the money up front for that sale. So I had to wait to get paid. And it was usually at the end of the month, or, like 30 days out, or, I didn't have that money in my pocket at that moment after I, completed the service for my clients. So, I'd have a client that would come in, hey, I have this Groupon, for this oil change. Well, first of all, to advertise on Groupon said, yeah, excuse me, you can list your business on my platform, but here's what you have to do. You have to give our clients a discount. So I had a $35 oil change, right? And I was forced to list it at half price. So right away, I lost half of my revenue. So like if we did the same thing with the snoring product, if you wanted to put that on Groupon, let's say that your sale price was normally $50. If somebody went to the website to purchase it, or they went into a retail store, Groupon would say, yep, you got to list it at, like $25. You have to give a discount. Now, once you're listed, the customers, they go and they buy the Groupon. And then when that Groupon is redeemed, Groupon gets paid first. They deduct all their fees. And then what are you left with? Well, with my shop, that $35 oil change, I was listing it for $18. And when Groupon would pay me, they kept 50% of the revenue. So that $35 oil change, I was getting $9 to cover the cost of my overhead, the cost of the oil, the filter, the labor, all the utilities, everything with $9. So for me, it was a tremendous loss. Yes, I would gain a new customer from that. And, one of the things that, that we would do, is of course, saying, hey, you need a new filter or, air filter or whatever to offer other services. and stuff. But most of the time I didn't really like doing that because, you know, it was that whole thing is if my clients want something, they're going to get it without me having to ask. You know, I can offer it, but, and there's a lot of people that are, big into, high pressure sales. I used to be an insurance agent. I know about sales. I used to be, doing stuff in computer sales, the advertising business. I've been in sales pretty much my entire life. So I know what sales is all about. But with it, when I designed it, it was to make it risk-free, hassle-free for all my advertisers. But at the same time, my members have a huge benefit. And I can actually show you how my members can earn more than what they spend with my advertisers. I don't know if there's a way that I can share my screen and I can, show you a calculator, but
Alan from our audience has made a comment here. I'll throw that up on the screen. After spending countless dollars in advertising with no guaranteed for various keywords, I have spun my wheels for years. This concept will revolutionize the way advertising will be done, for sure. And
yes.
Yeah.
So I've got a question, Joe. So how do your members get found by somebody who might want their restaurant or their product or their service?
So right now I have today I have 156 members that are waiting for advertisers just to get on the platform. Like I said, all of this is all word of mouth. So it is a standalone system. And there's several reasons for that, because I do have a thing against Google, and all these companies, like Google and, you take any major social media platform that is out there, they do so much, they generate so much money. I think Alphabet, in the second quarter of this year, they generated over $78 billion in digital advertising revenue. From that revenue, how much of that did they give to you? How much did they give that to me or to anybody that we know to help us improve our lifestyle? Nothing. They make money regardless whether any of the people that are doing these pay-per-click campaigns generate a sale or not. They get their money. They don't care, right? So for me, when I designed everything, I don't want to give my money to companies, to these, mega corporations. I'd rather give it to people that are, putting in, any of the legwork, if they're referring other people, if they're, letting people know about this platform. So that's where a lot of it comes into play, where my members, they get paid for inviting other members, right? And when those members, make purchases, they're going to get paid. At the same time, I give an additional 10% of revenue to my members when they get businesses to advertise on the platform. So it is really simple for any member to invite somebody to become a member or to invite somebody to become an advertiser. And when those individuals, click on the link, it's automatically going to input their referral code. So they get credit for everything. So on the business side of it, when you get an advertiser to advertise on the platform with your referral code, you get paid 10% from the total advertising revenue that we generate from those businesses. And it could be, you have one business owner that has 7 businesses, right? They own, multiple franchises. Well, when they create their account, you automatically get credit for every single business that they own and that they list on the platform. So when there's a transaction that's validated, 50% is going to the members for making purchases, but 10% is going to that marketing consultant that ended up getting them to join the platform. So it's going back to the same thing. Everything that I'm doing is based on word of mouth advertising. It hasn't grown much because I had said, hey, hold off a minute because I got to finish this video. I got to finish all this other stuff. And I finally have everything completed. So everything is ready to go for members to already start getting, create their listing on the platform. And, even for online sales, they would make the purchase through their website. And then for the validation process, the advertiser will receive an email and says, hey, here's a purchase that was made by, one of our members, and they go through the process of validating the transaction. It's not going to be an instant validation like if you do a transaction in person, but it's still going to be the same process.
Yeah. Where's the best place for people to go? PerkPay.cash or is it another?
PerkPay.cash is where all the members go to look for advertisers.
Okay.
No Loss Marketing is where the business owners go to create their account, create their listing, manage everything, get all the analytics for all the gross sales that they have and how much they paid in advertising, return on investment, all of that stuff. And, they can change their listing, change the location of, so even like, let's say if we had a food truck that wanted to advertise with us and they move around constantly, they can go into their profile and update the location each and every single day. And, they put in, the information, update it. And then when the members go, they can do that. Another thing is like, if you have a bar, for example, and they want to run happy hour, and let's say that they do the minimum advertising all the time, but during happy hour, they're like, you know what, we're going to go ahead and, pay 8%. They go in and just change the advertising rate that they want to pay during the happy hour, which gives more money back to the members during that time. And then once happy hour is over, they change it back to the 2%. There's so many different options that the advertisers have, and they have all the power in their hands. They have total control as to how they do everything with their business.
Okay, that's great. So I put nolossmarketing.com in the chat here. And also PerkPay.cash also in there. So people can take a look at both sides of it.
Yes.
Yeah, one from the advertiser. Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the things is here, I think by Monday, I should have it. I'm trying to finalize everything to get everything on the Google Play Store and on the Apple Store. So there's going to be an app version of this for everybody to be able to download on their mobile device. And, you can manage everything right from your phone.
Yeah. So it sounds like a no financial risk thing to try.
No.
And just add it to your marketing mix, your advertising mix.
Yeah. And for, if you're doing the pay-per-click campaigns and SEO and all that stuff, you can continue doing that. It does not interfere with what you are doing. If it's working for you, all I say is keep doing it.
Yeah.
This is just an added tool for you to grow your business. That's all it is.
Oh, that's great. So any questions, Betty?
No, I think Joe covered all the bases, and it's a fascinating model of, how the economy is changing as people find different ways to buy things and change their definition of what commerce is and what community is and everything. That was a great presentation, Joe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Roy?
Joe's pretty much covered it. So are your members all over the country?
Right now, I have members in California, in New York, in Chicago, in Texas, Florida, and I think in Virginia.
And if people were aware of the website perkpay.com, could they not go there to find out where your advertisers are?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's part of the listing is you pick the region.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that will certainly gain Google influence over time as well.
Absolutely, yes. So right now, of course, the priority is, of course, getting advertisers on the platform for the members to have places to go to make, purchases and stuff. And the best advertisers, I mean, are going to be the ones that are in person, because those are going to be where the members are going to get instant pay. Now, there's one thing that I forgot to mention that is there's two added features that I have. So for the advertisers, you know, especially with a company that is a retail establishment that accepts returns, you know, let's say you take a company kind of like Nordstrom, you know, just use them as an example, right? If they were advertising with us, well, these companies, I actually, I'll use Kohl's because I saw a story on it. Kohl's has lost so much revenue from people returning clothing, returning items. Well, here's the beauty of everything for my advertisers. If you go and look at a listing, it'll tell you what the return days are. So let's say they have a 10-day return policy. Well, what happens is when our members go in and they make a purchase with these advertisers that have a return policy, for those 10 days, the money that they would earn goes into a pending hold. And there's a reason for that, because during those 10 days, if that member decides that they're, you know, let's say that they go and they spend $100 of clothing, and then they go back the following week and they're like, you know what, this shirt didn't fit me and I'm returning it. What happens is the advertiser would log in and they process that return on their end. So what I ask for all members is, if they go to any business establishment that has a return policy, they write that sale code on the top of the receipt. So when they go back, that advertiser is going to know, hey, you know, hey, this is somebody that ended up, you know, we validated the transaction on, you know, on No Loss Marketing, or, you know, PerkPay.cash. And when they enter that sale code to process the return, what the system does is it calculates the advertising revenue that is associated with the returned merchandise. So let's say they paid initially $8 in advertising fees for that transaction, and the return amount was $3. Well, the $3 goes back into their account. So the members do not get paid for returned merchandise. My advertisers pay $0 on any returns, which is, I think, is also going to be huge for a lot of these retail businesses, because they're not going to lose revenue. You know, because one thing that I did not want is for members to go to a place like Kohl's and go and spend $1,000 and then, you know, get paid, you know, through my platform, and then go and return that $1,000. It does no good for my advertiser. You know, so I've eliminated that part of the risk. Another part of it is when one of the members goes and they start the process to validate a transaction. One of the things that I also have on my platform are nonprofit organizations. So when you go, you put in, okay, I just spent, you know, $100 with ABC Restaurant, and you have the option to donate a portion of your earnings to a nonprofit of your choice. So what happens is, at the end of every month, we will be sending all the donated revenue, and it'll be by each member that is sending an amount to that nonprofit. So at the end of the year, our members get credit, you know, as a tax write-off for supporting any nonprofit of their choice. And they can give, you know, 5% of the amount that they're going to give, or they can give all of it. You know, they can give the full 100% if that's what they wanted to do. And it only pertains to the revenue that they would normally get for their own personal purchases. It does not touch the revenue that belongs to, you know, the other 4 people that get paid from that transaction.
That's great.
Yeah, that'll be a good perk too, for sure, and something you can talk about. It's a promotional perk that works for you. It promotes your business,
Yeah,
and it's good for the charity too.
Absolutely, yes. And you know, I believe in giving. I mean, for me, I was actually a pastor for 27 years. And my heart is in blessing people and giving people opportunity. And ultimately, my goal with Perk Pay is to change people's lives, to give everybody the opportunity to have the opportunities that I wish that I would have had, growing up, especially when I was growing up, with not very many resources and a lot of poverty.
Well, that is excellent, Joe. Yes,
Yeah.
thank you for explaining all this to us and everybody that's listening to us and watching us.
I also posted that the link to the video that we played. Maybe it's not the best place, but I noticed that there's a bunch of related videos there on the page too, so that people can get a fuller,
Yes.
a better sense. And of course, they can reach out and talk to you, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I'd be willing, like if anybody has any questions, I mean, I'd be willing to give my phone number out. People can, text me and I'll reach back, if anybody has, any questions and stuff. I'm here to help companies succeed. I'm here to help people make money.
Yeah,
That's
awesome.
that's why I give, so much of my revenue away. I'd rather, so like, if my company were to generate $1 billion in advertising revenue, it's crazy to think that 600 million is going back to my members.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Excellent.
So I think the only instructions for our audience here is just to go sign up, just do it, right?
Absolutely.
and check it
Nothing
out.
to lose.
Yes.
Nothing to lose, and if it works out for you.
And the other thing is, if I would also encourage everybody to create an account on perkpay.cash. Like I said, there's no cost to join, Perk Pay and be one of those that is making purchases and make money yourself.
Awesome.
Now, Joe, when do you think the app may be available?
So I'm trying to get everything done within the next week.
Okay.
So it should be done by then.
So maybe we'll have you back in the new year to talk about the app.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yes. Joe, thank you so much.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it was a pleasure.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Good stuff.
So I guess maybe we can play your video out here.
All right, we'll put it at the end instead of the beginning.
since somebody missed playing it at the beginning.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you very much, Joe, for coming and introducing us to this. I think it's going to be a good fit for a lot of our audience and people, and it's great. Good luck with that. So
Thank you. Oh, there was one last thing that I forgot to mention. So
okay.
if there's any businesses that, like if they promote, no loss marketing on their platform, to get advertisers, from every advertiser that signs up, from the advertising revenue, they will generate 12% of the total advertising revenue every week.
So you have a referral program for that.
Yes.
So the benefit just don't stop with Joe.
Yes.
They just keep going and going.
And then you can afford to get a black car to go from Denver to New York if you, if you need to.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, season's greetings. Happy Friday, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Season's greetings.
Okay.
Thank you.